Hey everybody, it's Jason Blaha here, and it's time for another Breakfast with Blaha. And today I'm having Greek yogurt, frozen mangoes, milled flax seeds. All right, let's talk a little bit about accessory movements. All right, the thing to remember, the majority of the accessory work that we do, we're doing for what purpose? We're doing it to put on muscle. We're doing it to get cock diesel jacked. That is the idea. That is why we do these things. In other words, we do them part of the same reason that bodybuilders do them. Bodybuilders train muscles to get them bigger. All right, our goal should be similar with our supplemental work. All right, it should be similar with our supplemental work. Am I saying it can't carry over to movement patterns? No, it can in some cases. Am I saying some of our non-supplemental work doesn't get us bigger? No, of course it does. All right, you can do heavy squats, speed squats, heavy benching, speed benching, whatever. All that's going to still put some size on you. Going to do it. All right, it will. And some of our supplemental lifts, what are we doing? Some of them we do care about the movement patterns. For example, floor pressing. Okay, it has certain movement pattern carryover with the flat bench. All right, teaches us to stay really tight. Teaches us to drive from a dead stop without using our leg drive. Okay, so for people who stick just off the chest, well, actually, this is going to depend on how long your arms are and how thick your torso is, because for some people, the floor press is a much more of a partial than others. Right? I can get well within an inch of my chest. I can actually arch up and touch my chest at the bottom of a floor press, not a problem. A lot of guys, they're 6-8 inches above their chest. Okay, so it might be more of a mid-range. All right, it can help you move through those positions. You can absolutely do that. So can something like a spoto press. All right, very popularized a decade ago. It got really popular for a long time early on YouTube for me, and then it's died out again. Spoto press, movement carryover. Pause deadlifts. Okay, why are we doing pause deadlifts? Where you stop just below the knee, pause for a second or two, then pull. All right, pause in the middle. It's movement pattern carryover. It's not the greatest hypertrophy exercise. It can give you hypertrophy. It can work for that purpose, but you want movement pattern. I'd argue a lot of our overhead pressing, because we want a better overhead press. You know, we are just sometimes moving weight. But the point is, a lot of times our goal, if we want movement pattern carryover, it's going to be to move a lot of weight. Even if it's for high reps, we want to move a lot of weight. Our focus, because it's movement pattern related, we want to move a big weight while executing this movement, because the movement itself gives us carryover. The rest of our supplemental work, right, all of our accessory work, why we do it? We're doing it to get bigger. We are doing it to get big. Or we're doing it to balance out muscles, all right? Part of the reason a bodybuilder does what they do. They train in a way they train, not always to maximize growth, but sometimes to maximize a balance. When we're trying to get strong, we have balances we want to maximize. If you're quad dominant and you have weak hamstrings, you better do a ton of hamstring work. And you better hit those hamstrings from a lot of angles, all right? But it's easy to get caught up in our ego and treat these like movements. I've done that a lot with good mornings, which is fine, because we like to use the good morning as a max effort lifting conjugate. You guys have seen me do 555 with a camber bar. I've done over 400 on even a safety bar. I've repped heavy weight on those. But at what point when I'm doing that has rep quality suffered? Has range of motion suffered? Okay, that's a problem. All right, Because what are we doing? We're chasing hypertrophy. We're even oftentimes chasing a pump. You want to get a pump on a lot of your accessory work, right? And there's a difference between getting a pump versus getting that blunt force trauma feel like you got beat with a hammer. When we go to focus on just weight, we get that feeling like we were hit with a hammer. And in some cases, we want that. Keep that in mind. I'm not saying there aren't exercises where we want that, because we do. But most of it, we're usually chasing a pump. It's pump work. We're usually trying to think and train like bodybuilders with it because our goal is to get bigger. Why? Bigger muscles a stronger muscle. And let's come over to the other thing, support muscles. When they're just bigger, they work better. In other words, if you're using the hamstrings as a support muscle on your squat, just getting them big through any means necessary will give you that. It doesn't matter. The performance end isn't as important. Our upper back, we could argue about joint angle specificities, myofibular versus sarcoplasmic growth. We could argue about all those things. It's not going to matter. Your upper back doesn't care. On all these big lifts, it is a support muscle, and it's a critical support muscle. And oftentimes it's supporting when it contracts and helps us is on the eccentric reps. We're not concerned with it, the power that it produces. It doesn't matter. And I'm talking about for the squat, bench, deadlift, overhead press, any of those, right? Doesn't matter. We just need it thicker. Need it thicker through any means necessary. Fortunately, most of our movements are geared towards building upper back. A lot of even our primary lifts help build it. But you get the idea. We need all the support musculature to be as thick as possible. We're not even concerned with its performance. If it's a primary mover, we probably care about both, but we come back over to the point. Bigger muscle has more strength potential. Okay? Bigger muscle has more strength potential. And it doesn't matter how you got them there. So one problem we have with obsession over individual heads, though, it may not matter as much as you think it does. Just get the muscle big. If you need more triceps to bench, get them bigger. And to get them bigger, that means volume, chasing a pump. Not using jump volume needs to be intelligent application of volumes. We need to optimize volume. And again, I've got plenty of videos over time breaking that down, and I could do more and really get into individual sets and reps more. But the idea is the same. You need a certain amount of fatigue with good quality mechanical tension. Mechanical tension is still a factor, but we need a certain amount of volume threshold. Right? We need that. And in some cases, it's like, well, what is our mechanical tension? Are we just dropping eccentrics quick? Might not be ideal. Or how much are we trimming our range of motion, trying to move more weight? Some exercises do really good with that, others don't. All right, so we need to be paying attention to those things. And you'll know based on if you're getting a pump. There are exercises to where you get a pump even if you're not maybe locking. Like a true lockout or certain parts of the range of motion, they do that. All right, you'll know that on that exercise when you do it. And I hate to sound like a bodybuilder, talk about chasing a pump, but really for a lot of our accessory work, we would benefit from chasing a pump. We really would. All right? Just get thicker and think of it that way. The performance end we can worry about with the primary lifts and with the direct assistance work for those. Everything else that we're doing is to get thick. All right, guys, but that's really all I have to say on that today. I hope it's been informative, and I will talk to you guys next time.